so nervous yet so excited to be doing this. Don't mind my background, it will get prettier, I promise. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my very first episode of Cafecito with Sandra. I was supposed to use my fancy dancy microphone, but you guys, I had no idea how to get it connected to my camera. I was having trouble with my camera, my computer, everything, so I promise I will figure it out for next time. If not, then I don't know, we'll figure something out. But for now, welcome to my very first episode of my podcast. I'm so excited, but so nervous because I've never done a podcast ever in my life. I don't know, I just always felt like podcasts were meant for more professional people, I guess, or people who know how to talk. I don't know. I don't know how to talk. I literally lose my train of thought all the time. I just I don't know, I just get lost in my words. I don't know. Do you guys like my little microphone though? It has a little fluffy thing on top of it. Let me know if you can hear me perfectly. But also give me ideas for my background. I have this cute little book back here and it says How We Heal. This book is amazing, by the way. Honestly, 100% recommend. And then I also have my little cafecito right here. And my mug is so cute, you guys. My mom actually gave me this mug. It says Mama needs more coffee. My mom knows I love coffee. Anyways, just a quick little rundown before we get started. My name is Sandra and I am 20 years old. I am a mom of 6 and I come from a broken home. Very depressing, actually. I'm just kidding. I actually had a really good childhood growing up until my parents got divorced. That's when my daddy issues started, and just my mom was a single mom, so she worked 3 jobs and she just pretty much had to do it all on her own. So props to my mom. Honestly, that lady is amazing. I love that woman to death, and she did an amazing job, you guys. She had 6 kids, so it's 6 of us. I'm the second oldest, and I can't even complain. I literally regret everything that I put that woman through growing up because she was just trying to do her best. She was tired. I could see it in her eyes, but at the time, I was just rebellious. I was a teenager who was just going through a growth spurt and just going through all the hormones, females. But yeah, but that woman did amazing. I love her, and because of her, I am the woman that I am today, and I am the mother that I am today because I don't know. I don't know what I would do without my mom, honestly. So for this episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about my experiences since becoming a mother, especially since becoming a mother at such a young age. I feel like I've experienced a lot and I've gone through so much that it's honestly so crazy. The fact that I actually overcame so much of this stuff is insane to me. It blows my mind, but we are here today and I'm going to share my story with you guys. So I was a teen mom. I got pregnant with my daughter when I was 16 years old, and I had her at 17 years old. Honestly, it was the hardest pregnancy ever mentally because I feel like physically it was probably the smoothest pregnancy, but mentally it was very, very draining. And just because of everything that I experienced and went through when I was pregnant with her, and again, I was literally a freshman in high school, so that was not fun. Definitely don't recommend to anybody to go on and get pregnant when you're in high school. But I did get pregnant with her when I was in high school, and overall, I feel like it was definitely hard on me because I lost a lot of friends. I want to say maybe only 2 of them stayed through my pregnancy. And even then, we hardly ever even kept in touch because when I got pregnant with my daughter, I had to move away to Corpus with my father. Mind you, my parents were divorced when I was, I want to say, I think I was 10 or 11, I'm not sure. But they got divorced when I was a kid. So my dad wasn't really in the picture or anything like that. So I pretty much just grew up with my mom. And then when I got pregnant with my daughter and I had to move to Corpus with my dad, it was literally the worst thing ever because For one, it was uncomfortable being pregnant with my father who hasn't even been present for I don't know how many years. So that alone was very uncomfortable. But then also, like, just because he's a man, I feel like when you're pregnant, like, obviously you're a girl, you need your mom in your life, and, or like, to be present, you need your mom to be present. So that was very hard on me. But we got through it. I stayed in Corpus for 8 months, so basically my whole pregnancy. And I didn't go to school, I did online. So that was interesting because just because of everything that I was going through, I was so depressed and I was so I was away from my siblings, I was away from my mom, I was away from everybody, including the father. I was going through like a very, very depressing stage. Um, so I didn't want to go to school, and my dad gave me the option. He was like, "Do you want to go to school or do you want to do online?" And I was like, "I'll do online, you know?" So I did online school, and that was hard because for one, I never even did my schoolwork because I just didn't have like the motivation. I didn't have like, I don't know, I was just like never in a mood. Fast forward, I moved back to my hometown a month before my daughter was born. But during that time, it was also hard because him and his girlfriend at the time were having problems. It got to the point where I literally called my mom and I was like, you know what, come pick me up. Like, I want to move in with you. And that day, I remember it clearly because my dad's ex girlfriend at the time had called the cops on him because I guess like they were going at it. So the cops showed up, my mom showed up, and I ended up going with my mom. You guys, so much happened that day. So when I was gonna move out, they told me, you know what, like you can't take anything that we bought for the baby because they did buy everything for the baby. I didn't work, I didn't do anything, you know. So they had bought everything for the baby, and they were like, if you're moving out, we're gonna keep everything that we bought for the baby. You're not gonna take anything. And I was like, damn, like okay. So I left. My mom was like, you know what, leave everything. Who cares? Like we got you. So the moment that I was giving birth to my daughter, my stepdad came in clutch, you guys. Like, I will forever appreciate that man and love him as if he was my biological father because he was there for me through everything and he did so much for us and he didn't have to realistically, like he didn't have to. He had it easy. Like he could have been like, you know what, these are not my kids, like, but no, he stayed. This man was literally there for us for everything. So when I was in labor, he went out and he pretty much bought everything that my daughter needed. He went out, got her a crib, built the crib, had the whole room set up for me whenever, you know, I was going to get discharged from the hospital and stuff. So by the time I got home, everything was ready. And I was like, wow, like, but again, at the time, I I was not really like in the right mindset or in, I don't know, I was still going through it that I didn't see like the little things. I was kind of more of like more on the downside and more of like still feeling embarrassed and because I was a child having a child. And with that, it did come with a lot of judgment, especially because I was that pregnant girl in high school that everybody was talking about. And that alone was very hard too, which is why I didn't want to go to school when I was pregnant because I was afraid of the judgment and I was afraid of people staring at me. And I was in overall embarrassed of just being pregnant because I was, again, a freaking kid. So every time I would go to the grocery store or something, like I could feel people staring at me, and that shit literally made me so mad. I was like, oh my gosh, like what have I done with myself? What have I done to my life, you know? But I feel like overall, I really just kind of like started to ignore the judgment. I started to ignore like what people would think or say about me. And then I finally decided to go back to school and then just basically focus on school and getting my work done and graduating high school because I didn't want to be the typical like teen mom who would just drop out of high school and not get a diploma or a GED, which mind you, I have nothing against people who get their GEDs. Like, you know, it is what it is. Everybody has their reasons, but me personally, I just didn't want to drop out or just go for my GED. I wanted to get my diploma. I did go to a school that helps you like graduate early, so that kind of helped me a lot. But definitely something that I learned from being a teen mom was that it was it's obviously not something that I recommend to anybody. And even like with my daughter now, she's my only girl, by the way. Um, it's something that I definitely do talk to her about a lot. And like, I want to make sure that she doesn't repeat the cycle because my mom was a teen mom. My mom actually had my sister when she was around the same age as me as well. And I mean, it's just hard. Like, I would not recommend it to anybody. I definitely do say, like, it's best to just wait until you're financially stable, until you're in a healthy relationship with a man who's going to stand by your side and love you and cherish you and your child and just truly be there for you and support you. Because when you're a kid, like, you don't really know what the outcome of the relationship is going to be. Like, for me, obviously, it didn't work out. And again, we were kids, so I didn't expect it to work out. But I do know that a lot of teen parents do stick together, um, and they literally like live happily ever after and whatever. But that was not my case. But it was definitely very hard. Like, I remember I couldn't even buy my daughter a Happy Meal. Like, I was so broke. We had such a beat up car that I had bought like with my taxes. It was like a $4,000 car and it had no AC. I had a baby in the back seat. It was always breaking down on me. I remember driving to downtown Austin one time, and when I was driving back home, the freaking car broke down on me and it started smoking. You guys, I was freaking out because I had the baby in the back. I didn't know what the heck was wrong with the car and I was by myself. So I remember pulling into a Jack in the Box and I still went through the drive through. Your girl really just went through the drive through to give me some food because I was not going to sit there in the parking lot with a broken down car and a baby in the back seat and hungry. No, ma'am. I did go through the drive-through and it was so embarrassing because I remember the lady like looking at the car like, "Girl, your car is smoking." Like, it was so funny, but I mean, now that I think about it, it's pretty funny, but at the time it wasn't funny. It was stressful. Like, I just wanted to cry. I wanted to be like, "What the fuck? Like, why is this happening to me?" I remember like literally never having groceries. I never had groceries because I was living with my daughter's dad at the time, and obviously we were living with his parents, and they never had groceries. So I was literally at my lowest. I was at my lowest. I didn't really visit my family because every time I wanted to visit my family, he would get mad or it would start like problems between me and him. So I tried to avoid that, and then I lost so much weight with just being depressed and being just like a mom. Like, I don't know. I truly, truly do feel like I lost myself after having my daughter. I completely lost myself, and just going through that horrible relationship, like, it didn't make it any better. But something that I definitely wish I would have done differently is I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have, I wouldn't say I wish I would have never had kids, but you guys, sometimes I do feel like, wow, like, what would my life be like if I'd never had kids at such a young age? Like, I don't regret my kids at all, but I do have these moments where I just sit down and think to myself, like, wow, like, I wonder what my life would be like if I would have just waited. And, I would have experienced a lot more things. I would have went to prom because I didn't go to prom. I would have experienced clubbing sooner because my first time experiencing clubs was literally when I was 21 years old. And by then, I had already been through a toxic relationship. I had already had 3 kids. I had already gone through a divorce. Like, I had already gone through so much before I even experienced my first outing to a club, which is crazy. But yeah, that's definitely something that I would have wish I would have done is I wish I would have waited at least till marriage, at least till I had found the right one, at least until I would have found my husband now, because I'm currently married now, and he's amazing, you guys. He is the most amazing man ever. Like, then again, he is older than me. He's low-key a grandpa, but definitely waiting is something that I wish I would have done because the struggles were real. Like, they were insane. I feel like you have to be financially stable to be able to support yourself and a child. And in my case, I thought that, I feel like growing up, I always wanted a family. Considering the fact that my parents got divorced whenever I was a little girl, I always just craved to have a family. So when I had my daughter, I thought, okay, like, maybe this will keep us together. And clearly it didn't. And then there I go, having 2 more kids with this person. And I feel like by the third kid, we were both kind of just like, okay, yeah, this relationship is trash. It's not going to work out. And then on top of that, there was like cheating involved, and there was just violence and toxicity and just everything in general that just kind of like, okay, yeah, like I don't want this for my life. I don't want my kids to grow up in this environment. So it kind of just like something in my head clicked, and I was like, you know what, like I have to leave. I have to leave, or else my daughter will see this and she would grow up thinking this is okay and that it's okay for men to treat you that way, and it's not. But also, I would say that something that also came with it was insecurities. A lot of insecurities, you guys. I have 6 kids total, and I breastfed most of them, so I am super insecure about my boobs. Like, TMI, but I'm super insecure about my boobs, which, by the way, 2025, I'm hoping I get my boobs done because that is something that I've always been wanting literally since forever ago. I want to say it's been about 10 years now that I want to get my boobs done. I feel like everyone in general has insecurities that, of their own. Like, I used to be insecure about my weight, but now I don't really care about my weight. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm petite. It is what it is. But my boobs is definitely something I'm very insecure about. And I mean, it's fixable. I want to fix it this year, hopefully. So stay tuned for my vlog because I am going to be vlogging my consultation and the whole process. So stay tuned. But yeah, I feel like definitely insecurities and stuff like that, because eventually a mom just kind of like lets herself go, because I do feel like that us moms, we eventually stop caring about our appearance. We eventually stop doing our makeup. We eventually stop getting our nails done and things like that, and it's not okay. I want you guys to know that it's okay for you to take an hour, 2 hours of your day to get out of the house, leave the kids with grandma or with their dad or whatever the case may be, and go out and have you times, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, because like I said, it can be very lonely because we don't have a social life. We don't talk on a daily basis with other adults, and it can be hard. So it's okay for you to go out and do these things, because at the end of the day, you're human and you need this. You need to socialize with other people. You need to get out and, like be yourself, and don't lose yourself is what I'm trying to say. Don't lose yourself, because once you lose yourself, it's very hard to find yourself again. And if you're not okay, your kids are not going to be okay, and your kids need their mom to be okay. So this is your sign to tell your husband, you know what, today you're going to stay home with the kids and I'm going to go out with my girlfriends and have a fun time. And it doesn't necessarily mean you need to go out clubbing and stuff like that. Like I said, just go out to brunch, go out for your nails, go out for your lashes, whatever, right? But to end this off, I do want to say that I am very, very grateful for the men that I do have in my life today. And honestly, you guys, like, if I could talk to 16-year-old Sandra right now, I think I would tell her that she definitely gets through it. She's going to go through a lot of emotions. She's going to go through hell and back, but she will get through it. And that at the end of the tunnel, there is going to be a great man waiting for her with open arms, and he's going to be amazing, and he's going to give her what she was lacking. But that is it for today's episode, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little conversation, and stay tuned for more. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also turn your post notifications on so that you guys are notified when I post my next episode. And feel free to leave a comment down below and share your stories and stuff like that, because this is what we're here for. No judgment. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys on my next episode.